Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Blackjack. I'm Blackjack Galviani. I told my roommate about this fight, and she said something funny because I mentioned that the death battle community seems to believe this is a stomp in Bakugo's favor, and she goes, "Oh, really? That's not what I was thinking." She admits she hasn't finished My Hero yet. Come on, I'm trying to move the. There we go. She hasn't finished My Hero, but she thinks that Bakugo would be vulnerable to. Oh, come on. Centering these things is ridiculous. To emotional manipulation. She says she has the emotional range of. Emotional. I don't remember what it was. Some emotional something of a wet paper bag. Anyway, I am wearing red for explosions. And it is a damn good thing this was not yesterday, because yesterday and the 2 days before I was having work done on my roof, so there was bang, 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 all day long. Oh my god. Okay. Fight!
Bakugo versus Reze,
who I had never heard of before him.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze
I think I might have seen pictures of her, but I didn't know she had a name. Obviously, she would have a name, but you know what I mean.
There's nothing like the smell of napalm in the morning, the rush of the shockwave, the flash of combustion. I love it when stuff goes boom.
No one knows that feeling better than Katsuki Bakugo.
When your name literally means
age 25. Okay, so they're not using his high school version. Okay. Great explosion, murder god, dynamite.
powerful bomb. It's
So
no
he's
wonder
just
he
a
was
little-
born with the quirk explosion.
little taller than me.
It lets Bakugo create humongous kabooms from his palm. I can only dream of having hands that rad.
Quirks are genetic superpowers that most humans are born with. Bakugo inherited his quirk from his parents. Specifically, it was a combination of his father's combustible
Like that he's just
sweat
a
and
guy.
his mother's glycerin
Yeah,
skin
she's just
secretions.
a gal.
Bakugo's sweat basically like nitroglycerin.
Eh.
And the more he sweats, the bigger the booms. His parents basically
Gross.
made the perfect kid, absolutely oozing with shonen main character energy.
Bakugo felt similarly, so much so that he started bullying his childhood friend who happened to be born without a
Yeah, okay.
Some
that's
friend.
Those turds sometimes, but come on, Wiz, the kabooms. They're so cool.
Quirks are a natural biological feature of a person's body. In the
Neat,
same way
neat.
that we don't really think about walking or breathing, Bakugo's explosions became like any other limb, especially with his rigorous training.
Bakugo quickly picked up on how to use his explosions.
I was gonna say that screen darkening effect. I thought, wait a minute, my computer can't possibly be telling me it's going into sleep mode already, because it was that same kind of darkening filter, you know.
In sight, block attacks, launch himself around, and quickly maneuver in midair at hypersonic speeds, which requires a ton of focus and on-the-fly calculations.
And despite getting this incredibly dangerous quirk when he was 4,
Oh,
he
God.
somehow never killed himself or anyone else that we know of. Bakugo was truly a prodigy, destined for greatness.
And his only goal was to surpass Japan's numero uno superhero and his personal idol, All Might. In Bakugo's mind, the only person who wins no matter what. Absolute victory. No problem for the main character.
Except Katsuki wasn't the protagonist that he thought he was. That would be Izuku Midoriya, the quirkless child Bakugo bullied.
Oh,
In truth,
goodness.
He was threatened by Izuku's tenacity despite being quirkless.
Really? That crybaby's the main character? Well, Bakugo's inferiority complex would only get worse when Deku somehow landed a quirk that was just as cool, and both were accepted to the same superhero
Goodness
high
gracious.
school, UA High.
There
You know, I had said when I first heard about My Hero that it sounded like if Mystery Men really locked in, you know? Because people have just the stupidest superpowers in there, right? Nitroglycerin-like sweat, quirk factory in palms, can be detonated remotely. He got the gear. Ultimate moves. Explodapult. Yeah, this is definitely named by a teenager.
He would learn to be a superhero and fully develop his ultimate moves.
Like flying through the sky faster than sound with turbo
Oh,
speed.
faster than
Blinding
sound.
people with
Interesting.
stun grenades, focusing his blasts into
You have to really
armor-piercing
study
shots,
how to
or making a big-ass
control
tornado of
things
death.
at that
The
point.
howitzer impact involves Bakugo spinning himself in midair with his explosions, building up a tremendous amount of swirling oxygen.
Oh my God, he
and then
gets so
igniting
sick.
it all for one hell of a boom.
He's pretty smart when it comes to strategizing.
I'm sorry, I'm very tired.
Mid-fight. He even developed new techniques for his quirk faster than Deku did.
I'm not bored,
also
I'm just
Bakugo's
tired.
development By preparing him with his iconic Grenadier bracers.
Nice.
Gauntlets that allow him to store up his sweat. Gross. for
Yeah,
prolonged bouts,
it must
or
smell
to release
terrible
all of
in
it at
there.
once in a single
He
massive
must smell
blast.
terrible.
He's also got his hero suit, which helps him sweat faster in order to build up stronger attacks.
Oh, okay.
For the
Shouldn't he
straight
have his
dancer,
arms
These
covered?
badass turrets mounted to his back that store his sweat. as
Yeah,
ammo.
see that
With
filter.
all of
Look how
it
dark
wasn't
that
long
is.
Before Bakugo made his hero debut, called the Bombshell Hero.
See, I was thinking it was because of flickering lights, but there were flickering lights in that shot, and that wasn't darkened. Anyway, you would think if your goal is to sweat the ultimate amount, you'd be wearing layers and layers and layers. You wouldn't have any exposed skin.
Colon, great explosion murder god. Colon, dynamite. Hey, I dig it. The more colons, the merrier.
But despite some early wins, Bakugo failed.
Unless
to
you're a
live up to
Yahtzee
his
Croshaw
own
review
high
and you
expectations.
pronounce
He had
it
the
as
makings of a great hero, if only he could get out of his own way and put the team before his ego.
Especially when he was kidnapped by the League of Villains.
Of
ultimately
course.
leading Bakugo to blame himself for All Might's retirement. Something needed to change.
So he vented his
Yep.
frustrations in a slugfest with Deku and realized something crucial. That the kind of absolute victory that defined All Might wasn't victory for himself, but victory for everyone.
He
Yeah.
was starting to become the prodigy everyone knew he could be. I mean, hell, even while he was unconscious, he kept analyzing the fight he was in and coming up with counters. Somehow.
Nice,
Bakugo's
nice.
powerful enough to shatter
It means
Todoroki's heaven-piercing
dimly
ice
aware
wall,
of things.
Fast enough to keep up with villains like Shigaraki, who can catch light beams, and tough enough to survive, well,
Being dead? You heard us. Bakugo was killed, dead as a doornail. And then a single bead of sweat floating through his bloodstream detonated and restarted his heart. If that isn't major blood ar-
Well, Edge Shot was able to stitch Bakugo's injured organs back together as explicitly Bakugo's miniature explosions that restored his heart and revived him. So it kept him alive so long enough for meds to get to him
I
then?
don't know what is.
his stamina is perhaps the craziest thing about him. After all, he is tanking the recoil of
Or
all
did
of
it
his
just
explosions.
fully
Even with the overuse of his blast,
bring him
literally
back?
tearing his body apart, he kept trying to make him stronger, and eventually his quirk awakened.
Essentially, when a quirk evolves to become stronger. Now, by condensing his
bracelet
explosions
here.
into smaller and more powerful clusters, Bakugo could enhance all of his techniques.
Like the Howitzer Impact Cluster, a stunning achievement in the field of explosionology, or
Nice.
kaboom theory for the layman.
Powerful enough to shatter the side of a mountain, or blow apart Uehai itself.
Oh,
Judging
no!
by the school's size, we can estimate Bakugo's Howitzer Impact Cluster yielded over
I mean,
300 kilotons of TNT.
blowing
Given
up your
Bakugo's
school
whole deal
may
is
be a
explosions, it makes sense to
high school
science out
student's
what a
dream.
ton of TNT actually is.
All
It's
right.
literally the energy contained in 1,000 kilograms of trinitrotoluene.
A chemical compound composed of hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon.
That's the recipe for
Tons of TNT is a measurement often used in the real world to describe the energy contained in high yield explosives like nuclear bombs. It can be useful to measure particularly powerful feats from fictional characters.
booms. Now, imagine a pile of TNT as big as the Empire State Building blowing up all at once. That's Bakugo's Howitzer Impact Cluster.
And
I
these
see.
explosions can launch him so fast, it's like time stands still around him.
Like when he covered a huge part of this city in a fraction of a second, almost 400 times the speed of sound.
And that's
Oh,
not all. Now
goodness.
he can detonate his sweat remotely, and from all over his body, not just his palms.
With all of this crazy bullshit.
Okay. Blew up a mountainside. How big of a mountain are we talking? Are we talking like the mountains in Kentucky and southern Indiana? Are we talking like Mount Hood? Are we talking Mount Everest? What are we talking? I suppose in Japan the big comparison would be Fuji, but I assume it wasn't Fuji, or they would specify. Vaporized Wolfram's giant metal cubes. I'm assuming Dark Shadow is traveling at the speed of light. I don't know why. Destroyed Uraraka's meteor shower. I'm assuming those are regular meteors. Moved 300,000 miles per hour. How do you even breathe when you're doing that? Is that part of his gear? Displaced, pardon me, the airborne UAI. Helped defeat 9 while sharing one for all. Alright.
Shit, Bakugo became one of the strongest heroes on Earth, enough to battle and defeat All Might's lifelong arch nemesis, All for One. Yeah, that's right, the main villain, who's the protagonist now, Deku.
Bakugo literally and figuratively surpassed his childhood idol and proved his mettle as a hero.
Number 5 on the rankings and rising. Not bad, Kachan.
But more important than proving it to his friends, to All Might, or even to Deku, he proved it to himself.
Yeah, whatever.
Awesome.
Take that, losers! Sickest quirk in the world over here! Dynamite! 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 Yes, what happened to you? You look funny and squishy.
I'm over here, Boomstick. That's the new Death Metal plushie from U2's, and it's available to order right.
Oh, like the one they made of me a year ago. You got jealous, didn't you?
What? No, mine's way
No.
cuter. Look at it, and you can get
What
one by
is the
clicking
origin
right
of that
on
wow sound
Color
effect?
one of your arms.
Boomstick, I have a metal arm.
Always.
I always have. Oh, and if you order it, there's a chance
Well,
you get a special version with a gold arm.
Always.
That's actually kind of awesome.
You definitely want one.
Oh, fine. Yeah, I do, okay? Shut up about it.
Click the link below to order one for yourself. It's only available for a limited time, and after that, it will never be available again. So don't
So if you're
miss out.
watching this in the future,
Death, war, famine, conquest. Humanity has been plagued by all manner of ills since they first crawled out of the primordial ooze.
what happens to that
In the
guy
world
that's
of
standing by
Chainsaw
the
Man,
tree in that
there is
shot?
nothing to fear but fear itself.
Because fear
Temperature's
itself
starting to
is
drop
real,
now.
and
Temperature's
they're
starting to
called
drop.
devils.
Literally devils from
Please tell me
hell.
someone
These
understands.
monstrous beings are the living embodiments of humanity's worst nightmares.
Hey, life has
and
many
their
doors.
power is directly proportional to that fear.
So the chicken devil might be so weak you could keep him as a class pet.
From what I understand, that is an actual thing, and it lasts like a page.
You
At
know,
least that's what someone
chicken.
told me.
But
Oh,
what
God.
about the bat devil?
Yeah.
Or the ghost devil?
Yeah,
or the
I
devil
love that
embodying
running
man's
gag.
fears of one of the greatest
Ghost.
weapons it's ever created. The bomb devil.
Little is known about the origins of the Bomb Devil's current host, Reze, if that even is her real
See, I
name.
didn't even know they
Like
needed
the cute and
hosts.
kawaii, but
I see until I saw the analysis for the, they'd always do the preview analysis. I didn't know they needed hosts. I thought they were just devils. They just took human form. At one point, the author's favorite character, as an avid fan fiction writer, good luck with that. Likes coffee, flowers, dingy, sort of. Yeah.
she's actually a Soviet assassin trained from birth to be one of the deadliest killers on the planet. Basically a Black Widow.
Yeah.
A cold and lonely existence for anyone, but quadruply so in a world as effed up as this.
But all Reze wanted was a safe, normal, quiet life. As much a fable to her as Aesop's country mouse.
Too bad. You are now a walking, talking explosive. Have fun.
At some point, the girl known as Reze was implanted with a fragment of the Bomb Devil and became
Just a
hybrid,
fragment?
a human possessing a devil's powers without sacrificing their humanity,
I see.
transforming their body into a living weapon.
As a hybrid, Reze's strength and speed are way crazier than a normal human's. And with her
She in her
martial arts
underwear?
training, she's a force to be reckoned with up close.
She is.
Also, Wiz, check out the bomb for a head.
Someone like Reze would eat you alive, literally. Should
Yeah.
devils like Reze take any damage
You,
whatsoever, they can
you
heal by
underestimate
consuming blood.
Boomsticks.
Boomsticks. Oh no. Oh no, when his blood is explosive. Oh God.
insane stuff.
Well,
like
his
having their limbs torn off, getting bisected
his sweat,
clean in
but
half,
it goes
or
through
being
his
roasted
blood.
alive. Just slurp some blood and they're good as new.
Especially useful considering the Bomb Devil's primary ability is literally blowing herself up. Reze
Nice.
can emit explosions.
Oh. Something just hit my window. Weird. Alright. Super strength, speed, durability, regeneration, yeah. Like I said, I'm not bored. I'm just really, really sleepy. Okay. Weapon transformation, torpedoes, dynamite, and missiles. Nice.
Explosions from any surface of her body, even tearing off limbs and turning them into bombs that she can detonate at will.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's hardcore. She can use these blasts to jet
I
through
think
the sky at
Deadpool would be
hypersonic
interested
speeds,
in that.
maneuver and redirect herself in midair, and enhance the strength and speed of her blows.
Or Reze can send sparks that can ignite the atmosphere in explosions that tear apart entire cities.
Nice.
Making herself stronger the more fear her wanton destruction creates.
As long as the area around her is dry enough to maintain ignition, Reze can create as many explosions as she wants, non-stop.
Dry. That's an interesting thing. Humanity's fear of her not only enhances her explosive power, her physical power as well. She's able to shrug off an attack from the violence fiend who specializes in physical strength. Now, this is interesting because I don't know how well that channels into one-on-one fights. Does her specific opponent have to be afraid of her, or is it just like people fear bombs, ergo she is powered up by that as just a passive? Because he's not going to be afraid of that at all.
Even turn her own body
That's his
into
bread and
different
butter.
types of real-world bombs to massively enhance
Of
their
course
power.
she can.
Transforming her leg into a torpedo or her apron into dynamite. Every single inch of Reze is a living weapon.
Why
This
is she
made her feared
fighting in her
across the devil world
underwear?
as one of their mightiest warriors, and the perfect choice to assassinate Japan's newly acquired devil hybrid, Chainsaw Man.
You see, you might not think chainsaws are all that scary, at least not compared to bombs, but the Chainsaw Devil is special.
Any devil the Chainsaw Devil consumes becomes deleted from reality, retroactively erased from humanity's collective consciousness.
And here I thought chainsaws were for boring stuff like trees or Texas massacres. Silly me.
This ability makes the Chainsaw Devil
Boring
the most
stuff.
important being alive and invaluable for any global power to control.
Except instead of meeting the fearsome chainsaw of legend, Reze met Denji, a dumb, teenage boy just looking for anyone to love.
And for once, Reze actually hesitated. Rather than immediately kill her target,
Is
she-
this the one who, it was, people clowned on it, but it was like in a big emotional moment, and, something like that. I know he gets a handy in an alleyway at one point, and he realizes that sex was never what he was actually after. And he was missing all sort of emotional connection, and
to know 'em,
something
and
like that.
found they weren't so different. Both were used as tools of the state, as weapons of war rather than people. A kindred spirit in a hostile world, Denji wanted to drink up as much of the excitement of life as he could. The town mouse to her country mouse.
And thankfully, he was super easy for a pretty face to manipulate.
It wouldn't be the only time.
Reze's nothing if not professional, and she gave Denji one parting gift. To teach him the way devils did battle before he died.
As the embodiment of one of the deadliest weapons known to man, Reze's power is off the charts,
Yeah.
capable of creating an explosion more than 400 meters in diameter. That's over 4 football fields long.
Nice.
Blast that
That's
size,
kind of
you'd
small
need to
for
be
what I was
exploding
expecting.
With over 2 kilotons of TNT.
More than comparable
I
to
guess it
nuclear
doesn't.
weapons.
Oh,
which is
really?
impressive
Okay. I was going to say that doesn't count shockwaves. That only counts the actual. Yeah. I guess, yeah, that's not really all that small for the actual explosion itself. I was thinking area of effect,
Reze
but
is not
that's
the devil
that's
of
going to be
nuclear
different.
bombs. That's apparently an entirely separate thing.
Despite her bombs being technically conventional, they're just that strong.
Likely
Yeah.
comparable to other powerful devils like the Gun Devil, who could travel across the world and kill millions of people in 5 minutes.
That'd be over 500 times the speed of sound.
She's even stronger than the Typhoon Devil, a sentient city-spanning storm.
The literal coughing baby to her hydrogen bomb.
Unfortunately for Reze,
I want to make the absolute most obscure comment I have ever made, and that's saying something. Do you guys ever remember a show called Square One? Because that thing just sticks some googly eyes on it, and it was Mr. Glitch. Mr. Glitch scared the shit out of me as a kid. I could not watch the Mathman segments. Just saying. Fought evenly with Chainsaw Man. Explosion eclipsed most of Tokyo. My Hero takes place in Tokyo, right? Killed a devil hunter barehanded. Survived losing various limbs. Could fight while headless. Blitzed Denji several times. Feared by the Typhoon Devil, Fox Devil, and Violence Fiend. Fox Devil doesn't seem like they'd be very strong, but I guess people fear foxes more than is reasonable. But are they really fearing foxes, or are they fearing rabies? You know, it's kind of those splitting hairs sort of things.
Denji took her lessons to heart and proved he was more than a fitting host for the Chainsaw Devil.
He whooped her ass, but spared her life, just in case her seduction wasn't a total act after all.
But it wasn't meant to be. Whether Reze chose the safe life of the country mouse or the exciting life of the town mouse, there are hungry cats everywhere.
Oh, Makima, what I would give to find someone to kill you.
Reze's dreams of freedom were never realized. She simply changed hands from one cold, unfeeling entity to another. And this time, there was no escape. She was a weapon, a symbol of man's bottomless capacity for malice and self-destruction.
A living bomb.
So does that mean people then forgot about the existence of bombs? No, he has to...
The battle's about to start, and I hope you've got something good to
He has to
these
do
kaboos
it
with,
then, right?
Like our spot
Nah.
Podcast surround for Bud. Go to Digital Open Earbud. We've run the data through all possibilities.
I noticed it didn't say anything about the emotional manipulation that people were hyping up. Yeah, that's interesting, because people were saying that's one of her core abilities. I guess, is it not? Does she just do that on her own? Like, that's part of her spy training? Or, I don't know. But yeah, the whole drinks blood to regenerate thing, I feel like is going to be her downfall, because she's going to drink his blood and then it's just going to poof. Yeah. However, I think they're both going to get, like, she's going to get her head cut off, and he's going to die and restart his heart, and, yeah. In medias res. Interesting. Fight!
I've been sent to collect your head, Dynamite.
Interesting.
Better villains than you have tried, lady. You tell your bosses that after I send you back in a coffin!
Yeah.
I'd tell them that if I was already dead. Wow, you're quick.
Shut up and die!
I've had recording sessions that are just yelling. By the way, Death Battle, if you ever want to hire
Damn!
some water, I wonder if that's going to be, I don't know, it might just be a background detail, who knows. Oh yeah, there we go. Hey. I was wondering how she got her head back. So she's squeezing him from the sides, right? She's causing his arms to crush his ribcage.
Move it or lose it, people!
Me, Dynamite!
Let go of me!
God! Oh, goodness golly.
Leave them out of this!
No, never. The changing animation styles is really interesting.
For what it's worth, Dynamite, your blood was delicious.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah.
You bit off a bit more than you could chew. My blood isn't the only thing you drank. It's my sweat you should worry about, dumbass!
Yeah, I know, it's disgusting, but it's all I got.
For absolute victory!
Imagine someone streaming this. It's like, well, if they kill us, might as well show the world what happened. And kaboom! Fireworks!
Scratch that. Not enough for a coffin.
God. Oh, goodness.
Oh, Denji, we're so sorry to hear about your girlfriend that passed away. She gets 5 big booms. Boom! Boom!
Please just shut up. On the surface, these two seemed evenly matched. So let's
No, they
break them
didn't.
down into 3 categories: their speed, their stamina, and their firepower.
Blood drinking was gonna be her weakness.
Both Bakugo and Reze could rocket through the sky at hypersonic speeds and maneuver and redirect themselves on a dime in the middle of fights. To the casual observer, at least, they'd seem to be on par with each other.
So we have to look at the people they've fought to compare.
Reze
I
has
see.
battled Chainsaw Man.
Denji and Pochita have fluctuated in power since the battle with Reze due to the fear surrounding Chainsaw Man. As a result, Reze cannot reliably scale to feats from newer works of Chainsaw Man. Okay.
Defeat someone using the Gun Devil's power.
The same gun devil that could literally fly around the world, killing millions of people at over 500 times the speed of sound.
Impressive,
I
but
see.
compare that to Bakugo fighting Shigaraki, who could react fast enough to catch light beams with his bare hands.
That's over 1,000 times faster. And that was before
Goodness.
Bakugo's quirk awakening that made him even faster than that.
With reaction speed of that caliber, there's little chance Reze could ever get the drop on Bakugo, and would likely be forced to play catch-up in a duel. Speed goes to Bakugo.
However,
Okay.
speed doesn't matter if one couldn't truly hurt the other. A big part of this fight is their stamina.
Yeah, they both have
Bakugo's
insane
mind-boggling.
stamina.
He survived being impaled through the torso and has even brought himself back to life.
But unlike Reze, his stamina does eventually
I have a
hit a
candle
limit.
here
Every
that I
explosion he
can't
makes
light
whittles him down
because of
just a little
Athena.
bit more, and
She
uses
is out
up
of the
more
house
and more
this
of his
weekend.
sweat.
She's
Without a
staying
break,
with my
he can
parents.
eventually run out.
Whereas Reze can effectively create bombs without respite and from a distance.
Unlike Bakugo, who usually likes to get up close and personal.
Which is
Furthermore, her
interesting
devil
because she's the
hybrid
one
physiology
with
gives her an
close range
actual
fighting.
regenerative healing factor, allowing her to shrug off the same kind of mortal blows that would eventually kill Bakugo, main character plot armor or not.
If this ever became a war of attrition, Reze had it in the bag. Stamina goes to Reze.
However, it's unlikely it would ever get to that point.
Yeah.
The biggest factor in this fight was always going to be their raw firepower.
Explosions! First, we gotta compare their 2 biggest
I'm kind of
blasts.
surprised they didn't
Nuclear-like
explode
bomb
it
against Denji
into
versus
saying
Bakugo's
explosions.
howitzer impact cluster.
And the
God, that
difference
is such a
obvious.
weird
Based on
filter.
calculating their sizes, Bakugo's 300 kiloton explosion was over 100 times more powerful than Reze's 2 kiloton blast.
But that's not all. Remember the Typhoon Devil?
Coughing big
Yeah.
or not, to create a storm big enough to cover Tokyo's over 2,000 square kilometers, he'd have to be generating more than 400 kilotons of TNT.
Greater than Bakugo, right? But that's not all. Again, Bakugo's howitzer impact once shattered the size of this big-ass mountain. And despite being
Okay.
earlier on in the series, it was ginormous. Almost 3 kilometers in
Yeah,
radius.
see,
Or just over 2
Mountain doesn't
megatons
really
of
tell us
TNT,
anything.
5
That's
times
the
more
thing.
powerful than the Typhoon Devil, and way beyond anything we've seen Reze do.
And
The
this was
explosion
Bakugo
was
before
3
reaching
kilometers
his
in
full power
radius,
his
or the
fight against
mountain
All For
was?
One. Bakugo takes the final edge in explosion.
It must have
And
been
remember,
the
Bakugo
explosion.
withstands the recoil of all his blasts. So even though Reze had greater stamina, Bakugo was more than tough enough to hang on and get his kill shot, especially with his superior speed.
And devil healing factors can be overtaxed with enough damage.
Yeah.
She needed to drink blood a couple times against Denji just to keep fighting.
Against someone as fast and powerful as Bakugo, she would not get the chance to heal consistently, or perhaps at all.
And
Yeah.
what happens when devils die? They Bakugo to hell.
The winner is Katsuki
Okay,
Bakugo.
alright, let's see who's next.
Hero, great explosion, murder, god, dynamite. Next time on.
Let's see,
Death
let's
Battle.
see. Hang on, I know people were thinking it might be Traveler versus Aang. We don't know yet. No, it won't be. Okay, who the hell are these people? Oh no!
even join as a member to see more Death Battle. And don't forget to order your very
Oh
own
my
Reze
god.
Click
They're
that
finally
like
doing it.
button.
Oh, okay. Ow. My head. Yeah, that actually gave me a little headache. Okay. That was fun. I had a good time learning about the characters. Let me expand that. You wouldn't see a difference, but yeah, I expanded how big OBS is on my screen. Yeah, I really thought the drinking his sweat was going to be brought up in the analysis, but I guess they brought it up in the battle itself. It's kind of odd though, because I don't know what their limits actually are. Like, I don't know. And like I said, mountain can mean many things. There is an extreme size difference. There's even a movie about that. The Englishman who went up a hill and came down a mountain. It was about trying to measure what had been classified as a mountain, and the locals considered it a great source of pride, but it was technically classified as a hill, so everyone banded together to go pour dirt on it and turn it into a mountain. It was an interesting movie, very quaint mid-90s, you know what I mean? I don't know if you like quaint mid-90s movies, but it was very much that sort of thing. Anyway, next time is going to be absolutely insane. I am definitely going to tell my roommate about that one. She is going to plots when she hears about that one. Okay. Gosh. Like I said, though, I am tired. I have to get up. I have to do stuff. You know? So, I can't really stay and chew the fat with everyone. But yeah, that was fun, even though I didn't know anything about the characters. Like I said, I had never heard of Reze before this. I think I had seen, the bomb-headed evening gown lady. But yeah, so it's fun for me to learn about new characters. There's this thing on the Death Battle subreddit about, like, if the next matchup is something that hasn't been talked about in advance, what would you say? And I'd be like, oh, I think that'd be cool. If I had the money, I would pitch one of the battles I came up with to Death Battle, which is Ryoga Hibiki from Ranma 1/2 versus Okuni from Samurai Warriors. I did a video about it years ago, but my point still stands. I think it would be really fun. They both use the battle umbrella, and they both deal heavily in emotional manipulation. They also have a lot of big exploded moves. It's great. Okuni being the slowest character in at least the first Samurai Warriors games would probably be her biggest drawback. But because if Ryoga effectively loses power if he's happy, yeah. Oh, she is going to be bringing home the bacon. Okay. I will see you next time for a cartoon battle. That's going to be really cool. And happy Easter, everyone. See you later. Until next time, I'm Blackjack Gabiani, and if I had explosive sweat, I'd be showering constantly. Oh my god.